We are Carol and Jack Armistead, and we joined this church in 1973.
And I'm Claire Huddleston. This is my husband, John. We have 3 children, Anna Claire, Libby, and Drew. And I've been a member here since 2012.
We're Rachel and Blake Schultz, and we have 2 children, Stella Schultz, who is 3, and Jude Schultz, who is almost 9 months old. And we have come to Bluff Park United Methodist since really 2015.
I was a member here in 6th grade, went to school in Tuscaloosa, moved our membership there, and after we got married and moved back here, this was just a natural fit for us, I think.
The associate minister of Bluff Park Methodist Church didn't even knock on the door. He walked in and said, "Welcome to Bluff Park. I knew you were here, and I've come to invite you to church."
And we have met so many really cool people and just have been blessed with amazing families to raise our children with.
Well, to me, we give because it brings us closer to God.
I would sit in the pew next to my mother, and I would watch her open her coin purse, and she would slip me a piece of coin. And I was so proud when that usher came in front of us, and I dropped it in the plate, not having any knowledge of the ramifications of my life.
We both, first of all, grew up in Christian homes, so it's something that we have always seen done by our parents. And so when we got married, it really wasn't a question of if we would tithe. We knew that we would.
One thing that recently sort of stuck with me, I believe is actually last Sunday or the Sunday before, when Quentin said, "This is not an obligation, this is an act of worship."
You realize that God has given you many, many gifts.
Everything that we are bringing in is not ours. So we know that it's being given to us by the Lord. And so looking at it that way, I think, has just showed that that's just another blessing that we have.
Whose money is it really, and how are you going to use it?
When we give to the church, we're giving to the greater good, and they carry a lot farther when you do that. I think about all the missions we have that goes on in this church, all the different programs that we have go on in this church.
I mean, money's just a vehicle, right? And so being able to use that vehicle to get that end result through other avenues like the church and all the different avenues that it has to reach those people that realistically we probably never would be able to ourselves is awesome.
This to me is more personal, and this to me has more of a personal impact than giving to other organizations. And I think if people would give, they would probably feel that personal impact as well.
God gave me life. God gave me free will. Oh, and that journey led me to know that I do need God's path and not mine.
Our hearts are geared towards being filled up by something, and a lot of people, my natural go-to was to try to fill that up with money or material things, and that there's no satisfaction, there's no end date in that, or no completion.
It's a spiritual thing, but it's something that's just so important to your being.
I remember putting that in there and thinking to myself, okay, God, we've got other things to pay for also here, And I remember doing that. And then I remember not long after that, my dad coming to me and saying, "Hey, you and your sister, y'all are really good kids, and here's a little extra cash right here." So, and that's kind of a silly example, but also too, it felt like the door was being opened when that happened to me. I just remember thinking, God provided in that situation. We gave to him, and he gave to us.
When Jesus says, "Pick up your cross and follow me," and one of the hardest things to do is letting go of what's already in your hands to go and grab that cross, right? And so if one of those things is your money and you just can't let it go, you can't do both.
That's God's work. And when I do God's work, it helps me see God.
But when you switch to, I'm going to give away as much as I can or impact as much as I can, and you're filling your heart with that from the abundance and from the help standpoint, there is a feeling of fullness.
Do you want to be blessed, or do you want to be a blessing? And this is a way that we could be a blessing to others. And by giving to the church, it allows us to give to something greater than us.
God gave me his home, the earth, and he gave me his family, people around the world. And God gave me his only son, who gave me eternal life. So I have to give back.
So it's not how much of my money am I giving, it's how much am I giving back. That isn't even mine to begin with.
Yeah, I'm getting to keep 90% of someone else's money, right?
It's helped me grow my faith because it's allowed me to see all the works that God can do through us and how we can be servants of what he wants us to do in the world.
It's that step into which appears to be no answer, but it's that step into the promises of a God who loves us and yearns us to love back. He yearns for us to love back. And the way is made clear, the path is seen, and it happens.